Hi, crafty friends. This is Amanda. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Michigan. Today, however, I'm in Phoenix. But I want to take this time to thank you very much for spending a few moments of your day watching my 15th video. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I've been a little bit absent because I left for Phoenix from Michigan on Sunday after we celebrated Thanksgiving with my family. A little bit early, but so I could participate. And I needed to pack for this trip. I already had several things packed up in my craft room because we're moving my craft room downstairs, but I only wanted to take one suitcase and it had to be under 50 pounds. So I knew my big shot was out. And then I I didn't know what to take. What could I do to make great cards in a pinch? Maybe someone's going on vacation like I was, and they wouldn't have access to the things that I'm going to have access to because I have friends here that love Stampin' Up! As well. So I knew I could make great things with my regular markers, and that's what I did. I took my dye-based markers, scribbled on some ink on a plastic bag, wet it with my Stampin' spritzers, and added it to a piece of watercolor cardstock. I'm using for this particular piece of watercolor paper Pacific Point, Gorgeous Grape, and of course Coastal Cabana, because why wouldn't you use it? Perfect colors for the Snowflake Splendor bundle, perhaps? But I did want to make a Christmas card because, of course, it's the Christmas season and I haven't figured out all the Christmas cards I wanted to make yet. But I knew I could do it with a punch, a few markers, some water. I knew I could get that here, and bam. Now I am using my heat tool, and that is so I could speed the process up for you. But you could always let it dry if you only take a few markers and some watercolor paper. You could do a lot with a watercolor background like this if you brought some things with you on vacation. Wouldn't you love just to spend a couple hours listening to the ocean and maybe crafting while you're doing that? I think that sounds amazing. But like I said, I just used my heat tool to speed it up. And I have to admit, I wanted the harsh lines that made it look like watercolor rather than the wispy edges of blending. But you could definitely get away without the heat tool. As you may know, I'm here in Phoenix for a procedure, but I came 2 weeks early so that I could take care of my very good friend Terry. Tomorrow, she is having hip surgery. We have been having a great time together. I came 4 days before her surgery, and we got a manicure and pedicure, and we've been doing all the things that we needed to do, cooking and stuff. Well, I don't cook. I'm sorry. She was cooking and I was chit-chatting with her so that I could take care of her after she came back from the hospital. She's staying on a 23 hours overnight, so not a lot. But as you notice, I'm picking up colors. Sorry, break in the story. But I'm picking up colors off my silicone mat, and I'm layering colors. Just if I didn't like something, then I added more. If I just as long as you don't get your colors muddy, I think you will love this process, and you can't make an ugly card. Just remember, no purples and oranges blending together. That doesn't work. But you can dry them or keep them separate. You can have them close to each other. They just can't mix. But anyways, I came down here early, and I'm going to take care of my good friend Terry. And if you guys have any advice for me, I'd really appreciate it because I'm not sure what to expect. But I'm going to do my best. I do have my procedure on the 30th, and I'm hoping it goes really easily so that I can help out my friends still. I'm going to be here till about the 10th of December, so I have a really long vacation. It's wonderful. I am now adding my warm colors, pinks and oranges and yellows. I did add the Magenta Madness to my prior color, to my prior watercolor paper, and I thought that really made it pop. Ooh, isn't that beautiful right there? Oh, it's so pretty. I didn't like it the first time I did it, but I really love this pass. And I'm using Crushed Curry and Daffodil Delight and even Melody Mango Melody. Yeah, Mango Melody. And of course, again, the Magenta Madness, which I have not been using very much of, but after I used it on this watercolor, I absolutely love it. If you guys are finding this something new and different, if you enjoy watching this video, I would certainly love it if you gave it a thumbs up, a like, thumbs up, like, I think they're the same thing. And if you would subscribe, that would be even better. If you ring the bell, that means that every time I upload a video, I upload between 1 and 3 videos a week, just depending on how my pain goes and where I'm at and where I'm doing, and if my craft room is packed up. Um, but if you ring that bell, it'll tell you whenever I upload a video. I think you guys know that my husband is um, is working on my downstairs basement so I could have my craft room downstairs while I'm away. I have the best husband in the entire world. Now I'm going to take this tree punch, and I'm sorry, pine tree punch? I know it's something, and I'm going to cut out my beautiful watercolor trees. What do you think, guys? Do you love it? I hope you do. If you wanted to, you could always tape around your watercolor paper. I was lazy. And like I said, most of my stuff was downstairs. I just used the bare minimum, but it really did work. Sometimes I had to maneuver it or, you know, bend it back with my hands, but I think it worked great. Now, I really wanted to use this crumb cake. I added some Wink Stella to all of my trees. I went full throttle. These were sparkly to, you could see it from Mars. You just cannot see it on the on the video. But I really wanted to use this craft. Well, our craft cake is crumb cake and white. I just wanted to use it. I know there's a way that I can make this work. The stamp set Perfectly Plaid. I will show you how I dressed up these trees with some silver embossing in a little bit. But I chose to add some silver lined white ribbon. And again, I was lazy. I'm like, if I just take this piece of paper and run it around, it should be straight. And that's what I did. Which it probably in hindsight took me longer than just to eyeball it, and it would have probably been similarly straight because, I've been doing this for so long, I normally get things straight. But before I actually finish this card, I wanted to show you what it would look like on an A2 size card. I know the majority of you guys use A2 size cards, so I wanted to show you it fits perfectly, and it's so adorable on an A2 size card. If you wanted to do thank you cards, I use A2 size cards for thank you cards. If you want to do thank you cards, that would look great with the 3 watercolored Christmas trees, or if you wanted to make your Christmas cards like that. I really enjoy the look of these watercolor trees. I hope you do as well. And I was told you always have to have some black in your Christmas cards. Just a touch of it works. Now, how you place these trees in a line centered so they're perfectly right is to not start on one of the sides. No. The first thing you do is start in the middle. And I remembered that right now. So I'm going to pull that up, tack it down into the middle, and then go on each side. Now I'm going to show you what it would look like, what an A2 size would look like behind a crumb cake. But my favorite is the white on white. Doesn't that just pop? I hope you like that. I hope you try it if it's something that you enjoy as well. But I was determined to use this crumb cake and an A7 size card. I was determined. And so I took out my stencil, which I did not bring with me to Phoenix, or my little white craft ink, because that sucker needs to be refilled all the time with its re-inker. And I realized after I put this up that I don't do stenciling very often. And I'm going to need to practice because, oh my, did this look terrible. I had about 2 hours before I needed to go to bed so that I could wake up at 3 in the morning to catch my 6 a.m. flight. So I did not do this again. I really should have to show you how really great it could look. But I figured you guys could just use your imagination, how great it would be if they were actually circles and they were nice and they didn't look like that. But really, it would have been cute. I just apparently need to work on my stenciling. Maybe I should have gone slower. I was just ready to be done with this, and I just wanted to use craft or crumb cake. I just wanted to. So I'm going to pop up these particular oh my goodness, Christmas trees on some foam tape, on some dimensional, sorry. And I knew there's something missing. I know. If you guys have any suggestions on how I can make this my Christmas card to send out, adding a few things, or maybe you really like it. My daughter said she absolutely loved this. Her next comment was, "Can I use your credit card while you're away?" But she did say she loved it. All right, so I wanted to show you how you can spruce up your watercolor. You do definitely need to use your Stamparatus because watercolor has that funky shape and it's all out of whack because of you're using water. So I just took the negative of where I punched my trees and put it back in a puzzle piece. I also wanted to show you that I did try gray and I thought it looked wonderful, but I was determined to use this crumb bake. I think I should have used the gray. I really do. I thought it would look nicer. But, when you're stubborn, that just happens. So my daughter said this was her favorite card, but I don't know if it's because she wanted me to give her my credit card, for gas and things while I'm away. Because I normally help out my 17-year-old daughter with gas, but still, I just didn't know. What do you think? Still needs a few somethings. And I thought, stars on top of the tree. So I pulled out the Stitched Stars dies, added 2 or 3 different sizes, and I still did not love that card. So I decided to add a bow. When in doubt, add a bow. I cheated. I added a glue dot here to put it where I wanted to. And my scissors are completely dull, so I had to cut it down a little bit too short, but that's okay. Now, I hope this looks nice. Looks better than it did. Should have used the gray, but I did use this crumb cake. All right, this is my masculine card, and I wanted to show you guys, well, you can't see it right now, but the uniqueness of the dark early espresso and the light mist of soft suede. If you wanted to, if you watched that video and you really weren't sure what it really looked like, I wanted to give you a close-up version. But in that video, which is my last video, which is number 14, if you guys have not seen it, I mentioned that I thought it would look really great with green and blue. So a pair of pizzazz or an old olive and a night of navy or a Pacific point. And so I tried it here to show you guys. I didn't want to have to add it to my other video. Isn't that awesome? What do you think? It's going to get a little bit better here in just a second. But I didn't want to add it to my other video because I would have had to stop it, made it private and then resubmitted it to, I just tacked on that little bit of, just to show you what you guys did on this video. I hope that's okay. Hope you don't mind, but I just didn't want to have to add it to that other video that was already done. But let me bring this up to you. And I'm going to get it in focus because I have a DSLR. Isn't that amazing? Doesn't that look completely unique and awesome? I hope you guys try that masculine card as well. Well, thank you very much for watching my video. Thank you for taking the time. I'd love your thoughts and prayers and your ideas about hip surgery and what I can do to make my friend more comfortable. If you'd like and subscribe, that would be terrific. Did I already say that? I don't remember. You guys have a very blessed day. I'm going to bed now. It's 11 o'clock Arizona time, which means it's 1 o'clock my time. And I haven't been here long enough to, you know, get on the time. So I'm a little bit loopy. You guys have a very blessed day. Thanks so much.